Welcome, dear friends. Here is a very interesting and exciting discussion, thought provoking discussion on divinity and humanity. The theme here is whether one can visualize divinity through humanity. That is the point. Dr. Sarvepal Radhakrishna, in his interesting book, that is Science and Religion, he says, see, what is the purpose of religion? The purpose of the religion is to make the human being visualize or install divinity in his mind, in his soul. That is the purpose of religion, he said in that book, Science and Religion. Swami Vivekananda, on the other hand, says in his valuable book Vedanta, he says that yes, one can visualize divinity through the service to the humanity. Service means just doing some good, that's all, not very sincere service, a dedicated service and all that. Just doing some good to the human being, he says like that. And this is the same thing, even Rabindranath Tagore, the first Indian who got Nobel Prize, he says in his valuable book, that is the smallest book, Gitanjali, the smallest book, but the greatest award it has got, that is Nobel Prize. There is one line, very interesting line, that man, just like a musketeer, is hovering round temples, mosques and churches to see the God. See, musketeer, it knows very well that this fragrance is coming from its own hair, skin. Without knowing that, it will be hovering round some bush, some plant, some other flower, thinking that the smell is coming from that bush or from other flower plant, some different corners. It smells like that, and oh, not here. So throughout its career life, it doesn't know that musketeer doesn't know that smell is coming from its own skin. It can't recognize it, the fact, the reality. In the same way, human being also, without knowing that the God is there in our own mind, in our own soul, he is visiting temples, churches, mosques, and doing a number of rituals. Of course, nothing wrong in it. What he says is that we must be able to visualize the divinity through our humanity. What is humanity? What is the love of humanity? For example, in our family. See, family is the first school. A society in miniature as for sociologists and also philosophers. So you have to shine yourself there in your family itself. You must be able to visualize the divinity through your parents, your mother, your father. They have given birth to you. And there are a lot of sacrifices behind it. You must definitely realize it, and as a gratitude, you must love, you must return that love to them by visualizing a divinity through your parents, in your parents. Wife and husband, for example. A wife must be able to visualize divinity through in her husband, and vice versa. Husband too, in wife, and children and parents, vice versa. So first of all, you must be able to see a divinity in your own family member, your bosom friend. If you are able to rise to such type of occasion, maturity, intellectual, spiritual maturity, well, you are God. You have installed God in you, in yourself, in your soul. That is the fact. That is the ultimate philosophy. So the love of humanity is really great, and that's why one French archbishop, a church leader, a religious leader, Francois Fenelon in French, he was very popular in France, church and religious leader, archbishop. He says in one beautiful context that I love my country better than my family, and I love the humanity better than my country. He said, what more thought-provoking than this? So his first preference is, I love my country better than family. But better than my family, I love the humanity as a church bishop, archbishop. He said like that. Generally, they will be religious lunatics, highly religious minded, always saying the divine, like that, church, God and all that. Accepting divine God, they don't speak of humanity generally. I am saying religious people, but this man said like that. Really surprising. So here, in terms of this love of humanity, I would like to take up some two or three important genres in our life. There's important aspects in our life. The first one is education. The second one is health, care of health, and the third one is justice. So these are the three important essentials aspects in our life. Everybody will be facing these. First, education. Let's study about education. So what is the purpose of education? What is the end of education? The end of law is to do justice. In the same way, the end of education is to give us a true learning, as Albert Einstein said. True learning, that is the aim of education. Not bogus learning, bogus education, bogus knowledge, cramming of information, rigmarole of knowledge, rigmarole. This is what we are doing, we are facing. So most of the institutions nowadays, some institutions, of course, because they are producing great leaders, great educational leaders, gems, intellectuals to the society, and because of that, now we are witnessing a very wonderful development. Okay, but on the other hand, most of the educated people they have become a threat to the society. The real purpose of education, as said in our Taittiriya Upanishad, and that is Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunat. That means the education must be churned, the true learning will be churned by both teacher, by the combination of both teacher and student. Not teacher alone, not student alone. By the combination, by the beautiful interaction, by beautiful understanding between teacher and student, the real true learning will come out with a very good wisdom, and that wisdom must be utilized to the society, Loka Kalyanam. This is what that Taittiriya Upanishad says about education and all that, not rigmarole of knowledge, which is a danger to the society and all that. So, education must give a true learning where his heart, his soul must be chiseled. And when it is chiseled, the beast man can become a divine man. So the teacher, one educationist says, the teacher can make the beast man, Mruga, beast man into a divine man. Oh, what a great thing it is. Only when the teacher is able to chisel the soul of the student, then the humanity will be just like a fountain. There is a drizzle of humanity, drizzle of honey, just like drizzle of honey, drizzle of honey, a drizzle of this humanity will be there. That's why one Telugu poet says that Manishi Madilona Mamadaleni Chaduvulenduku. That means when there is no humanity, the love of humanity as an outcome of education or learning, what is the use of education, he says. So that should be the goal of education, but 50% institutions are doing like that. The remaining institutions, more than 50% of the institutions and the teachers are just they're leaders of a rigmarole of knowledge and cramming of information as a great threat to this society, and they have become mechanical. The students have become, they are learning mechanical knowledge, which is not useful. On the contrary, most dangerous to the society. So humanity is lacking there. That is the point. Both in the system, organization, and also the students and the teachers also. Lacking in humanity, human values. The essence of learning is conspicuously missing. That is the fact. And come to another genre, and that is most important genre here is health. So in respect of health also, doctors are gods, just like gods, because they are giving life to the patients. Patients who are critical sometimes, they are giving life. That's why we will be putting this namaste to them, namaste to teachers, namaste to lawgivers, advocates, because we think that they are equal to God. They are God. So what is going on in hospitals? In most of the institutions, medical hospitals, what is going on is quite contrary to our expectation, quite contrary to the humanity. Of course, there are some doctors who are giving life, honestly working, thinking that humanity is everything, of course. But most of the people, doctors, working there in that health department are quite against humanity, quite they are interested only in learning, earning money. That is the criteria. Humanity, nothing doing, come on, cast aside, simply set aside. See, when the patients are going, thinking that in the high corporate hospitals, of course, they are giving very good medicines, very good treatment and all that, they think. And they have paid 6,600 and 700 as a consultation fees in the very big hospitals. And the doctor he doesn't even touch, he doesn't open his eyes, tongue, he doesn't test the tongue of the patient and all that, nothing doing. What is your problem? Oh, this is your problem? Okay. First you do one thing, test your blood, urine, and scanning, whatnot, everything, 4-5 tests. Go and spend some 5 to 10,000 rupees and then come in the morning. And by the time they get the result, these clinical and diagnostic test results, by the time they receive that test, the doctor will be disappearing. The nurse says, no, your doctor has prescribed on seeing your result, medical report. He has observed, he has studied and he has given prescribed some medicines. How many? This much. 5, 7 or 8 types. Go. He doesn't even test, he doesn't even ask anything. So diagnosed by the tests, completely depend, and prescribing this much bulky medicines. 1 or 2 will be working, the remaining 7 or 8 tablets, 8 kinds of medicines will be giving a reaction to the patient. Okay, let it go. What is there? We want money, that's all. So that has become the attitude nowadays. So where is humanity? Where is justice? And now come to justice, the third factor, important aspect for humanity. So here, Thomas Aquinas, a great Greek philosopher, he says, justice is the highest virtue on the earth, he said. See, what a terrific thing it is. But another man said, Sir Roger E. Strange, he says, this great thinker says, live and let live is the rule of common justice, he said. So together we say, Thomas Aquinas and what this Sir Roger said is that justice is the great thing, highest virtue, and at the same time, it is a common justice to be given to the human beings. So therein lies the humanity. Because always every human being will be facing these 3 factors, education and health and justice in the court of law, or justice anywhere, even outside the court, in the society, justice in the society. But justice has become very, very costly affair. It's a costly commodity. Not even middle class and upper middle class, only the rich can buy that justice in the society nowadays. So it has become very, very costly thing. So what this Aquinas and this Sir Roger say is that Sarve Jana Sukhno Bhavantu. That means all people must live happily with what is due to her or him must be given. That is justice. In respect of justice, in respect of education, in respect of health. So every man must be given his or her due, D-U-E. And there is justice. There is equity in the world. And therein lies Sarvejana Sukhina Bhavantu. All people must live in a happiness, peace, and bliss. And that is the wish of humanity, and that is the love of humanity. And if you realize that you are a divine, this is what Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, that Aham Brahmasmi. That means I am Brahman and I am divine, divine absolute consciousness. Of course, it is philosophy, leave it out. So I am Brahman. That is the essence of it. I am Brahmin. Brahmin here means not the caste, Brahmin caste and all that. Brahmin means a person who is the pious, who is the sublime, above all isms, to put in a nutshell. No prejudice, no jealousy, no ill thought, no harm. He doesn't do any harm to any person, excepting something good, just like Ravana. Excluding that Sita's incident, of course, he has committed a mistake, it's a different thing. But as far as his wisdom is concerned, devotion is concerned, the spirituality is concerned, he is a perfect Brahman. Born in a Rakshasa family, but turned to be a number one Brahman, above all isms. He is the person who put muhurtam, auspicious time for the battlefield. That means for his own death, he himself put the muhurtam, auspicious time, and has imparted wisdom of all political wisdom to Lakshmana. So Brahman means that kind of nature of a person with human values, humanity. He is a Brahman, no spirituality, no soul, nothing doing. He is a Brahman, a person who has that blissful nature, attitude towards humanity. He is a Brahmin. And that is the reason why Swami Vivekananda says in one context that the soul pervades the entire body. Our soul pervades the entire body, but divinity means God, or divinity pervades the soul. That means it is existing in the soul. Divinity is existing in the soul. Divinity pervades the soul, he said, Swami Vivekananda. So if you know that, if you realize that truth is the ultimate thing in our life. If you realize that wisdom, we can say simply, if you realize that wisdom, you know about divinity, you know about God. And in love of humanity, you will become God. Yes. If you are blessed, endowed with love of humanity and doing something good to the society, yes, you are God then. This is the long and short of the matter about the dictum that visualize divinity through humanity. To such a level, one must rise. Thank you very much.